Hey guys, Jessica here, and welcome back to another Kindred Stamps design team video. So this week we are celebrating the March 2019 release, and there are some amazing sets in this release, but I got to play with the Bursting Love. So for this project, I'm going to be using some alcohol inks to make the background, but first I wanted to stamp out my characters that I'm going to be using, and I stamped those on 80-pound Nina cardstock using some Gina Kant amalgam ink. To get started on the alcohol ink, I brought out my glass media mat because this is a alcohol ink safe work area. So I started off with the pitch black, and I'm only going to concentrate those in the top left and lower right corners, and I'm using the blending solution, that's the bigger bottle that I have, to get that ink to blend and flow a little bit. Then I can go in with my two shades of green I'm using. I have Limeade and Lettuce. Limeade is such a bright, beautiful green color, and Lettuce is it's a lot more brown green to me, I think. So it does have a good contrast with the Limeade. To add a bit of shine to this, I'm going to add some gold mixative, and also something that is brand new to me is a snow cap mixative. It looks white, but when it blends in with everything, it just creates a very glossy finish. So it's like you have glossy accents over your alcohol inks. It's very interesting. You'll see it when it's dried in the final footage. So I'm going to let that dry, just set aside, let it move around and dry a little bit. And then I'm going to pull out that piece of cardstock that I had stamped my images on and start coloring with my Copic markers. You can see the colors that I'm using on the caps. I do try to set the caps off to the left area. Sometimes they're upside down. I also have all the markers that I use listed below. That way, if you want the same color combinations, you can get them very easily. For her hair, I'm keeping it more of a light brown color. I did start off with the E74, blended out with a E31, I believe. And then I went back in and added more contrast with the E77. It's just a bit darker of a brown, gray brown. And then I blended together again with the E31. Her outfit is going to be basically just all neutral colors. I'm going to stick with the warm grays and cool grays. Mainly the cool grays for the gun. It's such a small area, so having her jumpsuit outfit looking thing be more warm grays and then the gun be more cool grays, it kind of helps that small detail stand out a little bit more. For my large creature, I started off with the C5. I was thinking that would be dark enough, but in the end I added a lot more deeper gray colors to this, but it was a good base to start off with. And again, with this creature, I'm going to stick with cool grays and warm grays. I like to mix them together. To me, it has a more organic feel to it. So I do tend to mix my gray tones a lot together. So for all the highlighted areas is going to be basically W1, warm gray 1. And now I'm going to go back in. I have the W9, which is my darkest gray color that I have. So I use that one, blend out with a W6, go to a C5, a C3, and then back to that W1. And I really like how that shading turned out on this creature. For the smaller one, I'm going to add some of those E colors to it to make it a little more tanned. I figure since it's a baby creature, I'm guessing that it will have a little bit of different tone than the adult creature. So that was my thinking of this anyway. So I start off with the E74, use a bit of the E31, and I also use some of the E81, which is a really nice ivory color. It's called ivory, so that makes sense. My final step for the little creature is just to die cut it using a hexagon die, and then I move on to that alcohol background again. By now it has completely dried. And I'm going to trim it up a little bit. It's going to be about 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I layered a piece of green cardstock that kind of matched the greens and the alcohol inks behind that. So you're just going to a sliver of that. I took a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 Nina 110-pound cardstock and just cut off the corners. I wanted to play around with geometric shapes, so I used some fun foam and just my multimedia matte glue and layered those on the top left and the bottom right corners. I also used some white embossing powder and black cardstock to emboss the sentiment from the set that says "Sending Hugs," and I'm going to place that on that bottom right corner and then layer the girl character over the top. And I thought it would be funny to have the creature kind of climbing the ceiling, so he's up on the top left-hand corner upside down. For the inside, I took a piece of alcohol ink background. This was the first experimental one that I did that didn't turn out right. I was kind of going for more of an agate kind of alcohol ink, and it wasn't working proportionally to the design that I had with the geometric shapes. So I just saved that one and set it aside, but I'm going to use it in the inside and layer a piece of white cardstock over the top and then stamp the Happy Birthday from the Bursting Love stamp set. And I'm just going to use some Distress Oxide ink to do that. So now I'm going to take that small creature that I had used a hexagon die with, and I'm going to add a action wobbler to the back. That way he kind of pops up and wiggles when you open the card, which is just a fun little interactive touch. And that is it for me, guys. That's it for this card. I hope you've been enjoying the March release. Don't forget to check out the awesome event that we have going on in the fan club. Of course, there's always the blog hop that we have on Friday. And go ahead and check out my blog for any more additional information or products used for this card. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Meh, meh.